Question number 23. Ooh, this is a fun one. A bottle rocket that was made in a science class had a trajectory path that followed the quadratic equation y equals negative x squared plus 4x plus 6. What is the vertex of the rocket's path? So whenever I want to find the vertex, there's two things I got to do. I got to calculate my axis of symmetry, so that's x equals negative b over 2a. And then I have to plug that value back in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to identify the a, b, and c value of my quadratic. So if you remember, this is a -1, so that's my a value, 4 is my b, and 6 is my c. So I'm going to write down a equals -1, b equals 4, and then c equals 6. Now, I'm going to plug those values into my axis of symmetry formula, which is x equals negative b over 2a. So I'm going to plug it in just like this. X equals negative parenthesis 4 over 2 times -1. I do not feel like doing that mentally, so I'm just going to type it into my calculator by alpha y equal entering it. Ooh, and I get an add. So let me pull up my calculator again. So I typed in that alpha y equal enter, so now I have negative parenthesis 4 over 2 times -1. I hit enter, and boom, I get 2. So my axis of symmetry occurs at x equals 2. So if I look at my answer choices, the only one that has an x value of 2 is choice 2. So I'm going to circle choice 2 right away. But if you look at step 2 of my procedure, it says plug that x value back in. So what we're going to do is we're just going to plug it right back into our equation. So we have y equals negative 1x squared plus 4x plus 6. Now you might be wondering, do I have to put that -1 there? You don't have to. You could just put the negative sign, but I find it makes it a little easier by putting the negative there, because then you're sort of forcing yourself to make sure you put that 2 back in the parentheses. So now everywhere I see an x, I'm going to plug in 2. So I have y equals -1 times 2, square it, plus 4 times 2 plus 6. I'm going to type that right into my main screen. We don't have to type that into y equals. And then boom, I get 10. And wait a second, if I look back to that answer I circled, that is a y value of 10. So that's my vertex. My vertex is going to be 2, 10. Now that's how you do it by hand. There is a way to do it using y equals. So if we go to y equals and type the equation from the question into y1, I'm going to type in negative x squared plus 4x plus 6 and hit second graph. Remember, your vertex is sort of like your turning point. So basically, at my turning point, and then there's going to be a pattern before and after it. So look for a pattern. So if I look at 1, I don't get 5 actually. So 1, I don't get 5. So that can't be choice 1, because at 1, it's actually 9. At 2, I get 10. At -2, I get -6. So that can't be that answer choice. And then at 1, I get 9. So yeah, it has to be choice 2 just by that. But if you also look, another reason why it is 210 is because look, right to the left of 210, I get a 9. And right to the right of it, I get a 9. 2 to the left, I get 6. 2 to the right, I get 6. So that's another reason why it is my vertex, because on the left and right-hand side, there starts to be a pattern that emerges. All right, so 2 ways to approach that question. Axis of symmetry, plug back in, or use y equals and second graph it.